was preparing a live stream.
So it says we're now live on Facebook.
All right.
Yay. So there we are. Now I actually see us. So it's working. This one's working. Okay. Hi.
So welcome. We're here with Mary L. McCarthy, and so excited to get to know you more and to hear about your journey. And if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and how is journaling healing?
Okay. A long time ago in the galaxy far, far away, about 20 some years ago, I had an MS, multiple sclerosis exacerbation, and I lost a lot of feeling and function and form on the right side of my body. So I needed a way to teach myself how to write with my left hand. Well, I met someone, thank you, universe, who introduced me to Julie Cameron's morning pages. And I said, well, that sounds like a good procedure, because at that point I was running a successful management consulting business. So I just needed a procedure and I needed things done yesterday, of course. So I got into the morning pages, and it was just like, oh, okay, this is great and wonderful. And then all of a sudden, rhymes start coming up. I started remembering all kinds of things from my childhood. It's just like, oh my gosh, this journaling thing is more than just words on the pages. And it's certainly, I realized sooner rather than later that it was spiritual therapy, emotional therapy, mental therapy, way more than just physical therapy. And I got into it and I thought, wow, I need to share this with the world. So after doing consistently the morning pages and getting into this whole process, I set up a business called Create Right Now. And the type of service we provide is introducing people into journaling for the health of it, which gets into your creative health, your spiritual health. Journaling is a holistic health practice, and we all have it. And it's so, like I said, I'm on a mission to get more, as I call them, journaling power revolutionaries to join the journaling for the health of it revolution, so they can one, heal the issues in their tissues, and then explore, embody, and express their true self. So in 25 words, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love your mission. And as Lisa said today, the question we're kind of unwrapping today is how is journaling healing? What does it do? What does it do? How does it heal? Why is journaling the place to go to heal?
Journaling, there's something magical, mystical, spiritual, otherworldly about the process. I have all kinds of scientists are doing more studies as far as what physically goes on in the body, but as far as how it's healing, is that it accesses all of our brain. And because I think, let me just back up, we come into this world with talents, skills, creativity, imagination, all of the above. And then we get all kinds of wonderful adult supervision, from parents and teachers and societies about what we should be doing and everything. And everything is so much left brain focused. And journaling helps us get into the rest of our brain and get out of our brain at the same time and get back into our body. Because as you know, we're also very, we're some great analytical people and overthinkers and over worriers and all that type of thing. So the process of the journaling and healing is it just really enables us to access our whole being, not just a teeny tiny portion of our left brain that we've been using for these many years.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is it's a sense of remembering, and it's a sense of like holistic remembering. And then I'd love to know, your story's amazing and so fascinating, and everybody needs to hear it. But when you started journaling the morning pages, what you said then you saw rhymes and all these different things, rememberings. What happened physically, mentally, and spiritually to you? Like, when did you kind of know, like, oh wow, this is magic?
I would say within a week.
Wow.
I felt that I was just, ripe for blooming. I just think, that, again, I think it's synchronicity. I was just really, something's like the universe gave me a huge wake up call with the delivery of MS. And it's just like, it's just like, we got to get this girl's attention. So I just think it's like, it was sitting there really close to the surface. And I just think the journaling gave me the opportunity to get into me and to get, to go on, start my mission on getting the real, getting back to my true self and getting, through all the issues in my tissues and the, all the things. So I just think it was just a question of synchronicity, the universe, timing. And I just think that it's just, that I was, ready, even though mentally and left brain wise, and just like, I had no clue. That's what it was. It was just like, oh my goodness. So I don't know.
Yeah, I it's really interesting because, Lisa and I are on a mission. It feels very similar to yours, right? I like the word revolutionaries. We're in this Take an Art Break movement, and we're looking for people to make art as part of their daily routine, make it just as important as, brushing your teeth and your morning cup of coffee or tea, just sort of part of your ritual. But we get a lot of people who aren't in the position that you were in to welcome journaling into your life. What steps do you think, or that we could use, or what steps have you used to sort of convince people who would otherwise still be stuck in that part of their brain that is over analyzing journaling, and making art part of their daily life for a health benefit?
My suggestion is, well, first of all, I tell people there's only one right way to journal, and it's your way. And I think just that point is like, oh, okay, because I think everyone with the left brain prominence is looking for procedure. Now, how do I do it? When do I do all that kind of stuff? And it's like, well, hold the phone, just just take a moment. And then I think the whole process I find with people and with clients is to get them just to take 5 minutes or a short period of time in their favorite place, bring a notebook and a pen, and just have the experience of what it's like to be with yourself. And I just think that because we've just been so much, again, left brain stuff, focusing on the externals, the passing the standardized tests, all that type of thing. So I think it's just such a brand new experience. It's about reconnecting with your body. So I find that that's the starting point. And it's just like, and just start the whole awareness process of what's going on. And you're going to hear the inner critic and the Goonies and just be very honest that that's what's going on. Because with me, that's what my experience was in the journaling. It's just like, I just really got really, really scared, just not knowing where all this fear and everything came from. And then boom, I found a lady who wrote a book about the art of fiction writing and talked about the inner critic. So it's like, I had no clue what an inner critic was. So I I just think that it's such a huge monumental behavior change. The best thing you just have to take one step. And my suggestion is to just sit there and feel and experience what it's like to be with yourself. And then when you feel, that's my favorite 4-letter F word is feel. When you feel ready, pick up the pen and the notebook and write a question on the page, like, who am I today? Or, how do I set up a journaling practice? Or, why does my mother-in-law rag on me so much? Whatever comes to you, and then say 5 minutes, take a page and just write, and just really tell your inner critics or your overactive brain, whatever your goonies and gremlins are that are up, just tell them to have a coffee break or whatever, because this is your time. So it's and then just get into the process and have the experience of what it's like. And it will be scary. It will be different because we have so much old programming in us that it's like anything that we do for ourselves is so selfish. So that is what I have found to work. It's just like, okay, just start the process of taking the 5 minutes and what is self-care like, and what is this whole process of just being with you all by yourself for 5 whole minutes, that type of thing. So I just think I've just found that it's just such a huge behavior change, and change is really challenging. And we're talking transformation. We're talking about transforming ourselves into doing the heavy lifting, the deep digging, and reconnecting with and returning to who we were when we first came into this world. And there's a whole lot of stuff that's in there that doesn't belong to us. So we have a whole lot of work to do. Like I said, I think that the key is just to take the first step and just okay, I'm going to have a cup of tea and get the pen and the paper and just sit there and just have the experience of what it's like just to be with yourself, as opposed to, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, all that type of thing. So it's just that I said that at this point, that's the way I have found. And it's just like, I just think with people, it's everything will come to them in their time. I think when you have a physical health challenge that forces you to sit down, so that helps the process. Like I said, I think that's what helped me. I mean, otherwise, just being the high-powered businesswoman running around and all that kind of stuff, I just ended up myself. I never would have come to journaling by myself. So it just took a thing. But it's just like, one of my clients, she had a heart situation, and the doctor told her, I'll keep track of your meds, all that kind of stuff. And she said, they didn't ask me how I felt about this. What is my body? So that's how she got into journaling. She'd been an intermittent journaler, and she was sort of doing it. But then I got into the feelings and what's going on and how that's affecting my body, and all parts of her that were above and beyond that. So that's, like I said, I guess so I think just to as far as the whole starting process, it's just like take a step one of just having the experience of what it's like to be who you are right now in this moment and this day, and just and just have the experience. And then, like I said, and then when you feel ready, just your journal loves questions, so write a question. And there's there's no right or wrong question, whatever you feel like writing, and then just, do a page, take 5 minutes and just have that experience. And, and you may get scared and you may say, whoop, not ready for that today. Or it's like, oh, isn't that interesting? So
Yeah,
I love it. I love this conversation. I was listening to a talk, and he was the guy who was doing the talk was talking about writing and the power of writing. And he was talking about emotions. Emotions have energy, obviously, inside our bodies, as well as memories have energy. Can you talk about that? Because it's a way of getting it out of your body and onto the paper, and then you becoming a witness. Can you kind of gel that all together?
Certainly. Again, it goes back to, excuse me, the way we were brought up, and this is like, especially those of us who had a strict Catholic upbringing or religious, thing. It's like emotions. It's like, it was almost like emotions is like saying a swear word or something. So that is, and again, the way we were brought up, supervised, taught, or whatever, we were, the emphasis was put on, work, doing, saving the world, and all that kind of stuff. So when we're into the journaling, and that's where it comes in with the issues in our tissues, because we have literally stuffed down our feelings, our emotions, and so the journaling helps us to get those emotions that, that they have told us don't make any sense or are bad for us and all that kind of stuff. Again, a change in behaviors. It's like, of looking at that, it's like emotions are part of who we are as human beings.
Yeah.
So what the journaling does, it just enables you to get okay with feeling whatever it is you feel. If you feel rage, that's part of who you are. It doesn't mean that you have to do something about it. It's just like, that's part of the human process that gets us into the, feelings and emotions, creativity, imagination, all those, things of that. And it's like, again, we just get all these things out on the page. And we also find that in addition to the part of the issues and the issues with the emotions, is that we're carrying around a lot of other people's thoughts and feelings, based on what they told us we should be doing and all that type of thing. So it just provides a release to really, oh my goodness, oh, I'm not crazy for thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, so yeah, it just, then again, it's creative self-expression, and creative self-expression is chaotic. It doesn't follow A, B, C, D type of situation. And that's okay. That's part of the human being experience.
Yeah, you've got me thinking a lot about sort of the fact that society, we kind of set ourselves up for failure, and then we have to like deal with it when we're older, because we just we sort of categorize everything, and we make people put things inside boxes in their brains and push things down to the bottom of their belly because they're afraid of them, because we're afraid of them, because we've never felt comfortable with letting people be themselves. I don't really have a question. I'm just always curious about what we could do. Like, what's a shift we could make as a whole community, maybe, to bat that down a little bit, because I think of that in terms of our educational system, that does have, there is a right answer to everything, and there is a step-by-step process, and that there is a routine, and I'm not saying those are bad things, but they do lean towards certain beliefs and behaviors and processes that don't allow for that chaotic creative expression that you were speaking to. Like, I don't know, I'm just at the top of my head, I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be great if if you had space, like as a kid, to be a little chaotic? And I do know that some teachers do try for that, to not like box kids in and to let them be a little bit more free with their expression. But is there something else we could do? Because I do feel like as adults, you have to unpack all that stuff,
Excuse me, and that's the key, and that's what that's what's called inner work. I think you're right, that's the system, the scenario, if you will, is that yes, as part of being an adult, we really have to go internally, and it's just like that's and it's an ongoing process because it's something that we've never done before, and there's no game plan, there's no rule book for it. It's just like, oh, let's try this, or let's do this, or whatever. So I just think it's, again, just tuning into your gut and your feeling. It's like, what makes sense, or how are we going to do this, or this is what I want to do, what's my first step, and all that kind. And again, that's where I find journaling comes in so handily. It's just like, I often just sit there and ask it a question, or what am I going to do about this, or how did it do, or like the question that you just posed, how do we bring this to the community, how to whatever the question, and just write, and there's something about the process. It will stir up the energies, the whatevers, and you'll be taking a shower, you'll be cooking dinner or whatever. It's like, oh, we could do this, or how about trying this, or whatever. So I just find it's just doing the journaling, doing the process, like you say, again, that's how you get your healthy teeth, is brushing every day. It's just like, and I think just by the doing, the taking the action, and taking the action of with you guys and your expertise of art, it's just like, create some art, and or do whatever, and say, oh, okay, that comes up, and just do it a little bit in a mindful way. It's like, what about that? So it's just like I say, it's sort of a internal, shall I say, personal transformation work. Is there's no paint by number kit. It's just like, you just gotta, this feels right, let's try this, or oftentimes just sitting down with the journal and what is going on, why is this not happening, why, how do I do this, or whatever, and just letting her rip. And it's just like, okay, that was good, let's get on to something else, and just trust the process that the universe will deliver the goods when it's time for you to get the goods.
Wow, I love this. And part of you have to get out of the way. I wanna tap into the spiritual aspect, because have you experienced, like, because I've experienced this, where all of a sudden something comes to you from something larger than yourself, and how do you guide people into tapping into that? I know it's really about surrender and getting out of the way, but if you could kind of talk about that in your experience.
Yeah, it's again, it's something, it's you're tapping into a part of you that's been there the whole time. It just, you have an access. So again, it is a very scary situation. At least it was for me. It's like, where's this coming from? And I just think it's just being upfront and honest with people is just like, yes, it's like, I can't remember who it was that says, we are spirits having a human existence, but again, with the emphasis and the societal influences and all that kind of stuff, we've been programmed to think that we're human beings are supposed to be having a spiritual life. And it's like, no, we got it ass backwards. So it's just, but it's just like, no, I think too, that's, and I don't want to underestimate, fear will be a very much part of it, because you will be tapping into higher realms, the universe, who knows, the source, whatever else is out there. And I go back to a quote of Marianne Williamson, and the fear, and I can speak this because I'm going through this right now for myself, is the real fear is the fear of our light. Yeah, and again, because we've just been so programmed to, solve this problem, master this challenge, all that type of thing. It's like the getting past the taking time for ourselves, self-care, and getting past all those experiences, programming and getting back into who we are with our talents, our creativity, our imagination, our skills, you name it. It's like, that is what's scary. And it's just like, it's just something that's, it's an experience. We just have so much weight and garbage and stuff that we're carrying that doesn't belong to us. It's just a continual situation of, oh my gosh, I really am. It's like, damn, I'm good. This is like, and then you say that, it's like, oh, but it can't be.
Yeah,
like,
I think I know a great deal of people, and I have suffered this myself, that when everything feels equilibrium, that you've gotten there, you're in harmony, that you're basically waiting, anticipating for the other shoe to drop.
exactly.
I do that to myself all the time, because I think you're right. I think it's just that, and it's totally anxiety inducing, and it's very based in fear. And it's also some weird thing where you think you're not allowed to be happy. And I don't know where that comes from, but it happens to me quite a bit, where when I'm in that, I feel like it's a flow of life, and it doesn't come in very often for me, I'll be completely honest, but when it gets there, and your quote made me think of it, I get afraid. And that is that light that you're afraid of, and then that's when all the other stuff, like the storm of like, what did I forget? What do I need to do next? And I think that's, and you can just go into that spiral of going downhill. And and I've been thinking a lot about like, why do I exist like that? That's not, that's not a great way to live. And life is so precious. And we all know that. And we say that to each other every single day. But if it's so precious, maybe we do need to let ourselves be happy. And why don't we? I mean, that's a great question. Like, that's a great philosophical existential question, right?
Oh, it really is, and that's what's so exciting about journaling, is that you can have conversations with yourself on the page, and it's like, oh, okay, and then something will come up, or a word or a phrase or something will come up. It's just like, yeah, you're right. But it's just something that it's all there. The potential, the answers, the talent is all there. But it's just really a question of working to get back to us. It's just, and that's the only answer. It's like, because people say, oh, you do that, you do this, you do, or that comes so easily. I said, no, it's just, you just got to do the work. You got to, I have a great checkup with a dentist because I floss and I brush every day. It's just like there, and I think it's like you were saying too. The answer is just like, I mean, the question's just just keep coming, just, keep asking those questions and keep, using your journal to, oh, what about this, or da, 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 or where does that come from, or why does this such and such, or, that type of thing. And it's just, it's a continual, I think it's the acceptance that we are processes. We're not a system, we're not, we're not structures, we are, and I think that, that's what I have found based on my experience with the medical profession. It's like they treat us as a structure. We are a living, breathing process. So, and it's like,
I love that. Yes, yes, yes.
I love that. I love that we are processors and creators. I mean, that says it all. That's just, I love that.
That's like what you say all the time, right? We are art. That's what
we are,
and right, where we are our own art and progress, right?
True.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love the notion that it's all within us, right?
Mm-hmm.
What a beautiful notion. It's just, you have to put the work in. And I do think that first step is that you have to, I say this a lot to my own children and to myself, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think that you have to do that first, and then you really will open up. And you'll almost welcome that fear because you will become curious about it, as opposed to wanting to just run away from it. And like that troll that you were talking about, I know what he looks like, and he's not very nice. And now I'm at a point in my life where I can just be like, and flick him off my shoulder, and we can have a good laugh about it, and we have funny conversations together. But 10 years ago, he really would make me sort of completely shut down into myself. And so it's a constant process, right? And a constant coming back to it and reevaluating it and doing the work that it takes. And I think I like journaling because maybe it's a little bit more approachable for folks, because when we put the word art out there, people are like, ah! And so perhaps journaling might be a little bit more approachable for folks to find a way to have a daily wellness practice. And I love that. I think we'd all benefit from that.
Well, thank you. And I find is, again, and two, with the whole thing about, I get the whole thing about, oh, I'm not a writer, all that. This, like, if you just take it, take a moment, take a breath, take it one step at a time, that type of thing, because we're just so used to having it overwhelm us, having, whatever. It's like, this is revolutionary. It's like we're turning the light, the goodness, all that kind of stuff back on ourselves, where it's always been. So it's just but you're right. And it's the whole thing about and with the journaling, I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier about the process. Journaling is a process, a tool, a self-care practice to help you do the soul searching, the return to home, whatever it is. So like I said, and I think that's just the focusing on that. And it's just something, it's like, whoever, again, just thinking with your heart and your gut and your soul. And it's just like, oh, wow. It's like, and like you say, and just getting, knowing that creativity is chaotic. Everything is like, and that's okay. That's part of the human experience, and the human experience is vast. It's, enormous. It's a process. It's energy. It's all those types of things that certainly we were never, told about that at all. And certainly, as children, it's just like, I can just think in terms of growing up. I mean, when you see the emphasis was on, don't do this, you're not that, da da da, all that kind of stuff. And of course, that gets sucked into our our muscles and our bones and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
And but it's right. And two, it's okay. The whole thing about fun is a good thing, and happiness is a good thing. Health is a good thing. All that type of thing. It's just like, again, this is a wonderful journaling. It provides the opportunity for us to really find out who lives in our body and find out how wonderful, talented, exciting, we are. And that I mean, I find, like I say, I'm at the point now with my journaling practice. It's just like, one of my clients told me, said, you really sound like you'd look forward to the page every day. I said, to me, I think in terms of what really turns me on, what's my passion, and it's performing. I'm a singer. And to me, when they're doing my first thing in the morning in my morning pages, it's showtime for me. And that's what gets me to the page every day, because I'm into the feeling, the passion of, the emotion of who Mary McCarthy is. So it's just like, and that's a great thing. So I was like, oh, I think it was, like I said, I can hardly wait till tomorrow. It's like, what's going on inside of me today?
Sounds like a fun ride. I love it. I feel like the metaphor for me that's popped up is like we come out as these shining gifts, right? We're like little, golden gifts, right? But as you said, as society goes on, we kind of get these masks that make us dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. So for me, what I'm hearing is that by journaling, you're kind of unraveling that mask. And every time you journal, that unravels and the light shines through. And sometimes you see more light and you're like, whoa, what is that? And then I think that's where the fear comes in, because you're like, whoa, who is that? Who is that huge shining being? So what a beautiful conversation. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
This has been a fantastic opportunity for me. And thank you, ladies. And great. And I checked you out, and it's like, oh, wow, what your work and your mission and your revolution is all about. I'm there.
Yeah, I do think we are walking a very similar path, and I'm grateful for you for doing that, because the world needs more people to sort of shout out in the streets that taking care of yourself is not a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing for you, but also the entire world.
Yes. True.
So yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, well, having me.
Thank you.
As I always say, just right on.
Just right on. Beautiful. Thank you.